Hey, Arcaders! Welcome once again to the Arcade Archives podcast, Cartoon Connoisseur Theater, and we are in the mini-cast called Pokemon Rewind!
Yay!
the mini-cast where we're going over episodes of the Pokemon anime by random story arcs, and this story arc happens to be the Orange Islands. Now, last episode we did the Lost Lapras, and now we're going into a new episode. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But before we do, because this is a brand new year!
Yay!
Woo! Brand new year. This month, I'm calling it Pokepals Month.
Pokepals.
And the reason I'm calling it Pokepals Month is because I'm going to be joined by a whole bunch of my Pokepals. And we're going to talk a little bit about this episode. Today, one of my friends who has joined us previously on other podcasts and now has joined us here, Sayako. Sayako. Sayako, I'm sorry.
There you go. You're fine. You're good.
Alright, so Sayako has joined us in several different episodes previously. She even did one of our intros in Japanese.
For the anime episode you guys did, yeah.
So, I'm really happy about it. I'm very excited to be here for that you're here.
Oh,
I know you love Pokemon.
Just a little itty tiny bit, and by that I mean all of my life, yeah.
So, I know she would love to join me, and she probably will come back for other episodes too, I hope, soon.
Oh yeah, totally.
By the way, one real quick thing. We are going through spoilers, so if you haven't seen the episode yet, make sure you go to YouTube, or Netflix, or the free Pokemon app. Go anywhere of those different places, and make sure you listen to this, to watch the episode first before actually going. This is going to be the 5th episode of the Orange Island story arc. So, this is the 85th episode of the Pokemon anime, and it first premiered on February 5th, 2000. 2000.
I had just turned 9.
Wow! I was in high school, so there.
Oh, awkward.
Yeah, a little awkward. That's okay. So, the episode's title, I usually wait and give the episode's title before we actually start talking about it, but there's a fun fact about this I want to talk about real quick. The episode's title is Fit to be Tied. And I really didn't know what this was a reference to until I looked up some information. Now, a lot of this information that I get is from Bulbapedia, because they have some...
site, yeah,
they have some extensive episode listings and some fun facts and stuff. So, the episode's title, Fit to be Tied, is actually a reference to a popular saying? I know you can't see it, but I'm doing air quotes.
I mean,
popular.
I've heard it.
You've heard it?
I've heard it before,
I've never heard of it before.
I'm fit to be tied.
Right.
Yeah, I'm so angry, I'm fit to be tied.
So, I went on the internets, and I went on the Googles. And I found the meaning of it, which you've already talked about. So, fit to be tied basically means that you're really angry, and that you're so angry that they should basically put you in a straitjacket.
Because if you don't, man, I'm about to pop some caps in some people's,
Right, because we're streets.
Super street.
So, that's what this episode is referring to. Really, to tell you the truth, I don't really know why this has any reference to the episode itself.
I mean, the only reference it really has is that it deals with water Pokemon, and that's really it.
Yeah, I mean, usually the episodes kind of tie into whatever they're doing.
I mean, there is a big wave at one point, so, I mean, I don't know.
Nobody gets that angry. I don't feel.
You know what? Who probably gets the most angry is Ash, because he's always angry. He's always, but not even that angry.
Well, Ash
he's
is
Ash,
either...
he's 10. He just doesn't know how to handle emotions.
Right. Well, he's always 100%, he's always 100% happy, or 100% angry, or 100% sad, or he's never 50-50.
No, not really.
Alright, so, other fun facts about this episode. This is the first appearance of Team Rocket's very famous Magikarp sub.
Is this the first one?
This is the first episode with the Magikarp sub.
Such fond memories of the Magikarp sub.
They have been shown before in a sub, but the last sub they were in was Gyarados shape.
I've seen the Gyarados one.
Which is weird for a submarine.
Yeah, it's where they went from Gyarados to Magikarp and not the other way around.
Right. Now, the other sub, there was another sub that they did that was shaped like a Basculin. So, in black and white, they had a Basculin-shaped sub, which I have to say looked a little cooler than the Magikarp sub.
But the Magikarp's more iconic than a Basculin. You said Basculin, and I had to go through my Rolodex of Pokemon in my head. I'm like, which one's Basculin?
Black and white.
Oh, right, it's that fish. But I mean, Basket would do better, I guess, for like underwater camouflage.
Right,
but
right.
Magic Carp is just iconic. It's the king of carp, man.
Yeah.
I'll sell it to you for $1 million Poké dollars.
No way, man. No way.
Hey, man, James took
No
that
ways,
deal.
man.
Hey,
No
man,
ways.
James was dumb enough to take that deal.
I did not.
Yes, well, I can't help you there.
Anyways, we also want to talk because, as you all know, we're in the Orange Islands. Each island that they go to has some type of reference to oranges. So I was wondering what this island was. Now they
do?
pronounce it, they pronounce it Mikan Island.
Oh no,
But
Mikan.
It's Mikan, actually. Mikan, which means orange. It's Japanese for orange.
Yeah, it's
which,
Japanese for like tangerine.
Right, so it makes sense. It totally just makes sense that this is basically just an orange.
Yeah.
An orange island. So, but they mispronounce it wrong.
As they're wont to do.
Right.
Good old four kids.
So,
Good old four kids.
good old four kids. Mispronunciations.
You know, a rice ball is a jelly-filled donut, totally.
Right.
Never forget. Hashtag never forget.
Hashtag never forget. Please make sure you'd hashtag us too. That'd be awesome. All right.
Hashtag.
So, let's get into this episode now. That's all the fun facts I got for this episode. Let's get into this episode, and that is, of course...
Fit to be tied!
We start off the episode, pretty much every single episode of the Orange Island starts off this way. They're arriving at a new island on Lapras.
Poor Lapras, man. Poor baby Lapras.
Poor baby Lapras. I'm guessing it's a he. I'm guessing
I
it's
always
a
thought
he.
Lapras was a she.
It may be a she, I'm not sure.
We'll call it it because we don't
We'll call
know.
it it because we don't know its sex, so that's alright.
We don't know
So-
what gender it is or how it chooses to be identified. So
Right? So, Lapras is surfing to Mikan Island.
and
And-
Mikan Island in my head.
So, as they're coming, of course, Ash and all of them are hungry, of course. But
you
they're...
you would think that they would plan ahead and
Right.
buy food. You
Yeah, and this is what bugs me is Ash bought this whole supply of food before they even left for the Orange Islands. What happened to these many bags of food that he and Pikachu carried out of the convenience store?
Ash happened to them.
Probably. Well, anyways, so Lapras is going real fast and bumps on one of the waves, which knocks Pikachu off, and then Ash does some kind of Cirque du Soleil move and catches Pikachu.
Yeah, while holding on to one of the bumps on Lapras' back, and
Right.
was just like, "Where did you learn these skills, Ash? You're 10."
He is a gymnast. What are you going to do? Now, this episode goes right into our next scene from there, because as I talked about in the last episode, this episode really doesn't beat around the bush. This goes right into it.
It really doesn't.
There's no setup. There's no boom.
It
So-
literally, Tracy goes, "Hey, we get some food on Mikan Island." Or Mikan, sorry.
Mikan Island.
And by the way, there's an Orange League gym there.
Mhm.
And Ash is like, "Cool beans, let's go."
All right. And then, boom! We're hit with Team Rocket. So, of course, Team Rocket is in their very famous Magikarp-shaped sub. And, of course, Jessie does her signature laugh. They're all kind of worried because they haven't caught Pikachu yet. Jessie's afraid that she's going to be kicked out of Team Rocket. James is in disbelief. And Meowth is just kind of tired of rowing, of pedaling this sub.
Meowth is just like, "I am a cat, I should not be doing this."
So, who knows? I don't know. So they decide to try to, of course, catch Pikachu. But then something happens. We find out that their sub has been tangling in seaweed.
No!
And then they
Wah, wah.
sink to the bottom of the ocean. And we think that we'll never see them again.
Heh.
That's funny. So,
That's a funny joke.
so then the episode begins, and we're smack into a Pokemon Center. Of course, just like with every island so far, Ash has to call Professor Oak.
I mean, he never calls his mom. Do you know? He always
Yeah.
calls Professor Oak.
Right. And before he left for Orange Islands, he said he would call Mom. Where did that happen? He called Oak. He didn't call his mom. So...
Who wants to call your mom when you can call your random old neighbor?
I don't know. But anyways, he calls Professor Oak. This is Oak's intro to Tracy, because we got introduced to Tracy last episode. This is the first time Oak has met Tracy, and of course, you pointed this out.
The ultimate fanboy. Oh my goodness.
Tracy is the ultimate fanboy. He's blushing. He's excited. He can't stop talking.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The other thing I really didn't think about this episode is why did the audience need to be reminded who Tracy was? We just saw him last episode. So I guess
that forgettable of a character in the last episode.
Yes, he was. So ouch.
Ooh,
Shots fired.
Shots fired, not pulling your punches today.
Oh yeah. So I don't know, and he also told Oak that he caught Lapis. That's the only important thing in this whole scene.
That's not the only. We got to see Muck do terrible things.
Tackle Professor Oak, which is kind of a running gag from now on.
And push him off screen. I don't want to know what happened.
Oh, Muck. Ash's Muck. So let's move on. I
don't want to think about that scene anymore.
Now we're splash cut right to them walking, I'm guessing, towards the Mike and Island gym.
I hope so. It was kind of a sketchy looking gym, honestly.
Yeah. So they're talking, and of course, Tracy is fanboying it all the way. He's excited. He can't believe he knows people who know his hero. And both Ash and Misty can't believe how famous Oak is. Which, I guess in a way that's true. I mean, when you go in Gold and Silver, you find out that Oak is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, even in the games, in the first couple games, he wasn't that big a deal. But then, man, Gold and Silver came out, and whoa, we had a radio talk show.
Right.
He was hanging out with Mr. Pokemon.
Right.
I mean, he was a big deal.
He was with DJ Mary.
Oh, yeah, DJ Mary. Oh, man, DJ Mary.
So that's big time right there. And then later on, doesn't Oak get his own TV show and Hoenn and...
I'm sure he does. I mean, I don't know much. Hoenn is by far my least well-known generation,
right.
So...
Aw, poor Hoenn. Oh, well. Anyways, so... Misty makes the quip that next time she meets Oak, she's going to ask for this autograph because, they didn't know he was a big shot, but
technically,
apparently
has she ever met him? He's seen her in the background of Ash's calls, but have they actually said, hey, this is Misty. Misty,
right.
This is Professor Oak.
Yeah, they have. Because
Alright.
previously to going to the Orange Islands, they were in Pallet Town for a little bit. And, so they've met in person. All right, so then they arrive at the Macon gym. I'm having a hard time pronouncing it. The Macon gym, and Ash is all psyched. He wants to go to that gym. He wants to get that gym badge, and he's running as fast as he can. And then all of a sudden, he finds a coconut on the ground.
Coconuts. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts.
Forget my gym battle. Here's a coconut on the ground.
I mean, wouldn't you be excited for a random coconut on the ground? I mean, I sure would. Actually, no, I wouldn't. I hate coconuts.
Oh, but this coconut was actually a whole prank by some small kid who...
Does he ever actually have a name?
No, we don't actually speak his name. In the Japanese version, they do speak his name. I did write down his name, but I can't find it, so I'm not going to worry about it now. So, he meets this kid. It's kind of a bratty kid.
Super bratty kid.
And, Ash starts bragging about the fact that he was in the top 16 at the Indigo League. The kid's not impressed. He says that the Orange Crew is kind of a different, a league above the Indigo
Orange
League.
Crew. Worst gang name ever.
It's true. And so he challenges him to a battle, and before they can actually fight, a girl shows up yelling at a little kid about cleaning his room, which we automatically know they're brother and sister.
We don't know that. Maybe she's aunt, maybe she's mom. Just because her name is Sissy.
Her name is Sissy. I'm already assuming the fact
that she's his sister. She could just be some strange woman he lives with.
Can I take it aside to say that this is probably the worst name for a gym leader ever?
True story. I mean, Sissy's not a bad name. It's just, do we know what her Japanese name was?
I don't know what her Japanese name was, but Sissy is just kind of a weird... I don't know. It's just kind of a weird name. Random. It's just random. So anyways, we find out that Sissy is the leader of the Mike and Jim.
And may I just say, Tracy told Ash about the leader of the Mike and Jim, but how great they were. And of course, Ash is, being him. Like, oh, I bet he's really cool. Well, of course, Sissy then appears, and Ash just goes, oh, I thought he'd be a guy.
And then my favorite part was Misty's little comment of like, oh, she probably beat all the guys. I love Misty's little comments.
I was proud of Misty in that moment. I was very, very proud.
And of course, now we get the first inkling of Tracy. Now, Brock, when he was joining with the group, obviously he fell in love with every girl that they met. Every single girl, except for Misty, apparently.
Yeah, Misty was just off limits, but man, every other female.
Right.
And Jessie. He never went for Jessie.
Oh yeah, he never went for Jessie either, because Jessie was a bad guy.
Right,
so.
But every female, oh my goodness, it was so weird. It was funny when I was a kid.
Right.
Now that I'm not a kid, I'm like, oh my god, Brock is so
awkward. Yeah, it's
kind of gross
creepy.
and creepy. Ew.
Last episode we had him do this weird kind of thing, and I was like, oh, okay. So he's a little creeper, but now we get a little bit with Tracy because Tracy is sketching Sissy, and Misty kind of notices this and is like, hey, I thought you were a Pokemon watcher. And he just kind of laughs it off and
that's about it. All the way.
Yeah, so, okay, all right then. So we get into the gym. Ash is ready to do his battle, right? He's ready, he's excited.
Ready.
And Sissy's like, oh no, that's not how we do things in my gym. And in the Orange Crew.
The Orange Crew.
We do something completely different. Now, I will have to say I kind of like this idea. That it's not just a battle.
No, it's testing out your Pokemon's other... Because Pokemon have more skills in life than just battling.
Right.
That's true.
Right, and I kind of like this idea that they... And this goes all throughout the Orange League. All the different gym leaders do very similar things. So I like it. So Sissy challenges Ash to a kind of a water gun challenge. And it's kind of like a quick draw contest, in my opinion. Very Western, very... She pulls out her Seadra, which I love it when he popped out and started speaking, and you just giggled.
I did giggle. I mean, because it's Seadra, and Seadra's a pretty awesome looking... He looks like a Bamf. He's ready for some action, and he just goes, do-do! And it's like, do-do! That's not quite what I expected out of you.
And of course, so then Sissy I think kind of trying to intimidate Ash. So she has I'm just going to call her brother until we figure out different, but her brother blow balloons and bubbles, and then Seadra kind of shoot the bubbles with the water gun.
Perfect precision.
And I think that was mainly to intimidate Ash, be like, hey, look what I can do. And so she pulls out, her brother presses another button, down comes this like giant unneeded door where cans are sitting and they're all lined up. And so she says that this is going to be a water gun challenge to choose whatever water Pokemon you want to do this challenge. So Ash decides for a bit and then decides on his Squirtle.
Because, I mean, really, he's only got his Squirtle and his Lapras. Which one's he probably going to use here?
Well, I think Squirtle is good for the water gun challenge, especially since he's used to being a firefighter and whatnot. So.
No, it makes total sense. But, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, what's the obvious choice here? Big old whale, little Squirtle. Go little Squirtle.
So it's Squirtle versus Seadra, and they start knocking over cans, and Seadra goes first. Seadra knocks them perfectly over. I don't know exactly what they're trying to prove.
Just that they can hit them off the dead center and how many they can knock off without missing.
Maybe this is a warm-up?
No, I don't think it
Anyways, so then Squirtle goes next, and Squirtle does the exact same thing that...
Squirtle's awesome, man. Squirtle Squad represents.
Alright, so then we're going through this challenge, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Psyduck appears. For no apparent reason.
Hey man, he had to be the Wobbuffet before Wobbuffet was a thing.
Exactly. So, Psyduck shows up. At first we think it's just a quick cameo appearance, whatever. Then he starts playing with the GS ball. Now, this is weird. This is one thing that we're going to be seeing throughout the Orange Island, is they really hit home that this GS ball is a thing.
It's really a thing. Did, and it never became anything.
So, Psyduck is playing with this, bouncing it on his head, and Misty grabs the ball and says, I'm going to bounce you around, which is hilarious. And my first thought was, I'd love to see you try, Misty. I'd love to see you try.
It's funny and a little cruel and abusive, actually. Misty, why are you so mean to your Psyduck? If you don't want the Psyduck, get rid of the Psyduck. Oh my goodness.
We'll talk about Psyduck a little bit more later, but that's pretty much all we get with Psyduck. So then Squirtle and Seadra go into kind of a skeet shooting contest. That's what I was thinking about earlier, skeet shooting. They shoot out these clay frisbees, and they each try to hit one. So first, it's just one, then it's 3, and both of them hit them perfectly. And then the last contest they do is whoever hits the last skeet wins. So it's a quick draw contest, right?
Now, of course, I'm sitting here watching the episode thinking, who's the judge of this?
Yeah, and
because
of course...
there's no impartial judge, and who's the judge?
Tracy.
Oh, Tracy.
Because he has binoculars.
He's got binoculars, so he must be the judge.
That's right. So Tracy judges that they both hit at the same time. Sissy confirms this because, of course, Sissy is impartial as well.
Super impartial.
So they decide to have a tiebreaker, and the tiebreaker is going to be what Sissy calls a Pokemon wave ride. Now, we're not exactly sure what that means yet. So, smash cut right to the outside, probably the back of the gym, I would assume. Yeah. And they're on the beach, and so Sissy pulls out her Blastoise, and Ash pulls out Lapras. And
it'd be a little hard to surf on a Squirtle.
yeah, since he's so small.
It'd be hard.
Right, so, but before we can get into this race, lo and behold, who shows up?
A plot device.
Plot device, that's right. Team Rocket shows up. At first, they're almost dying. They come out of the top of the Magikarp sub, and they're just terribly just out of breath, and they're just out of energy, and they just can't go any further. Sissy asks them if they need first aid, and without missing a beat,
to protect the world from devastation,
they go right into the mile. I just say they cut everything. They are the consummate actors.
Consummate professionals, and above all else, they must, before they can even say a single word, they must do their motto. Or
right.
else, I don't know, Giovanni's gonna show up and chop off their toes. I don't know.
So we get this, and then after the motto, they break character.
Yep.
And they're just so exhausted, all of them, especially James, who is covered in seaweed. And then we break into this story that James tells about them sinking to the ocean, and then of course they play rock paper scissors to see who goes out. And of course James loses, although we're still kind of figuring out what rock paper or scissors does Meowth have.
I mean, Meowth doesn't really have thumbs.
He could do scissors.
And not really. I mean, cats really, they don't bend all, they either bend all their toes or
right.
they don't. I mean, I can push one of their toes if I want to clip my cat's nails, but
right.
I mean, they don't constantly be like, bam, scissors.
He could do paper or rock.
Well, that he can do, but scissors I'm a little bit confused on. But he's Meowth, he's a magical Pokemon cat.
There you go.
He can talk, and he's figured out how to speak human language. I figure he knows how to make scissors.
Right. Well, by the way, just a little aside, there was a video done by one of my favorite YouTubers, The Dex, and they did an episode that just came out recently, actually, that talks about Meowth, and I really did enjoy it. They talked about how Meowth is, and they actually delve a little bit into the anime, which is actually kind of interesting since they usually just stick with the video game. But anyways, so we have this heartfelt story from James, which I love. I love the line readings for James for this one. It's so perfect. Like, you just feel this, you feel for these people. He makes this heartwarming. It's like he's pitching this to, like, executives of, like, Lifetime or something.
I mean, he did, in fact, call it a bad made-for-TV movie. Which,
right.
I mean, is there a good made-for-TV movie? Yes. Disney Channel's, like, Xenon.
I can't even remember it.
The 20s. Man, I remember that movie. That was great. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Everybody go boom, boom. My super
oh,
girl.
boy.
Off
Here
topic.
we go.
Off topic. We're going to continue on Pokemon.
So, then, of course, now they're back on task. They decide to steal both Lapras and Blastoise, along with Pikachu, possibly. And so they shoot out this little line that has a little Magikarp at the end, which I thought was absolutely hilarious.
And out of the Magikarp's mouth is a giant net.
Yeah, and comes out a giant net that nets only Blastoise. Oh, and of course James uses Weezing and uses his smokescreen to kind of blind everybody. So they pull Blastoise in. They decide to come back for Lapras later, although wouldn't Ash and them be gone by the time they came back?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so anyways, they pull Blastoise into the water, which again, you made this comment when we were watching it. Why would they pull the water Pokemon into the water? Where it can swim.
And, shoot watery things.
Yeah.
And, honestly, why, if you were stealing something, why would you put it in its element?
Right.
I mean, really.
So they try to go off, but the seaweed is still wrapped around their propeller. They start sinking again, and Blastoise hits his head pretty hard on the Magikarp sub, which wakes him up.
It does. And, this episode is just the episode of people not getting concussions, and they really should.
They really should.
This is the first example. There's another a little bit later.
So, this wakes up Blastoise, and Blastoise, Sissy tells Ash and friends that not to worry, Blastoise will take care of them. So, because they're ready to jump into action,
And Sissy's like, nah, Blastoise got this.
So, Blastoise wakes up and drags the entire sub with Jessie and James and Meowth up to the surface, and he rips out of the net, and
he's just like, ta-da!
Yeah, he does like a whole Hulk moment where he just hulks out. And
he does. He just stretches, and bam, the net disintegrates.
The net disintegrates. Jessie and James are left top of the water, kind of just all confused what happened. Of course, Ash asks Pikachu to electrocute them. And Pikachu dips his tail in the water, and the electricity goes in a line straight to Jessie, James, and Meowth.
And that's not really quite how electricity works. I mean, if a thunderbolt struck the ocean, it wouldn't just be a straight line. It'd be a big, giant blob of water.
Right, and of course, all the Pokemon, the water Pokemon that would be in the water at that point would probably be dead this point.
Would be super dead. All the poor innocent Horsies and Magikarps. I mean, gosh, Pikachu, what did horses ever do to you? Horses are adorable.
Well, that's one way to go fishing. So they get shocked, and then Blastoise hits them with a Hydro Pump, which blasts them off into wherever they go.
I always wonder, where do they go when they get blasted off?
Far away.
In a galaxy far, far away?
Probably.
A long time ago?
Yeah. I know. Star Wars. We had to make a Star Wars reference eventually.
Have to. I mean, it's have to.
So, then we go back on task, and we go to the Pokemon Wave Ride. So, we have a Pokemon Wave Ride. So, at first, Ash is like, alright, Lapras, good luck, have fun. And then Sissy's like, oh no.
No, mister. That's not how this is going.
Yeah, you're gonna ride your Lapras. You're gonna stand on him and ride him like a surfboard.
Surfboard?
And, yeah, like a surfboard.
I'm sorry, I was doing a Beyonce reference.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
So, they get in the water. Ash is having a little trouble, which I kind of get because, I mean, it's not a flat surface. It's a, rounded shell that he's standing on.
With weird awkward lumps on it.
With
so
weird awkward lumps on it.
Would make it kind of awkward.
So, they start off, and Blastoise is in the lead at first. Lapras is trying to catch up. Ash is having a hard time keeping on Lapras. So, they're going through, and Ash decides to get on the inside to kind of block Blastoise, which Lapras then hits Blastoise, and they kind of do this once or twice. And the second time, Ash almost falls off Lapras, but Lapras catches him with his mouth. And
Which, I mean, I first thought, so I'm like, isn't that cheating because he fell? But I guess if you don't fall into the water, it's not cheating.
Yeah. And then Sissy does this hairpin turn around the buoy with the Blastoise, which both of us looked at each other and went, I don't know if that's possible.
I mean, I drive a big giant truck, and there's no taking little tiny turns in that thing, so I doubt Blastoise could do a little hairpin turn, but hey.
And then, of course, Lapras follows suit.
And especially a big old whale thing. Oh, yeah, it must be able to do a hairpin turn.
So, they're cheering on Lapras, and Misty and Tracy are cheering on Lapras and Ash.
Tracy's got his binoculars, because he's the impartial judge.
Because he's the impartial judge. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a giant wave comes out of nowhere.
Tsunami.
And Ash's Lapras shoots out an ice beam, which freezes their side of the wave. But Sissy gets knocked over and almost falls into the water. Conveniently. And Blastoise catches her. And they catch up to Ash and Lapras.
And they just keep going.
And they just keep going.
See you at the finish line, guys.
Right. And then Ash gets this brilliant idea to shoot an ice beam line to the shore, which he does, and then skates on Lapras.
Lapras does. Ash doesn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Lapras shoots the ice beam.
Do you imagine Ash shooting an ice beam?
I don't actually want to mention that.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
So then Lapras is skating on the ice, and this gives Lapras a little bit of an advantage. And then, of course, Ash wins by a nose.
By a literal nose.
By a literal nose. And then Lapras hits the shore. He flies off Lapras and hits the tree as hard as he can.
And there's our second mild concussion that should have been, if not full out concussion.
I told you that eventually he'll probably faint.
Probably.
You know, for the concussion. It probably takes a little bit for it to, work its way.
Probably.
You know. So, anyways, Ash gets his Coral Eye badge, and it's his first badge of the Orange Islands. He's very excited. Sissy kind of compliments him on, wave riding, and I don't understand how she could figure out how he battles with the fact of using water gun and surfing. I guess.
I mean, the ice beam was kind of, I won't say ingenious, but I mean, it was a smart way to get ahead.
Right.
I mean, so I guess that, he can use it. I'm not calling Ash smart, because he's not.
He has moments of smartness.
But he has moments where his brain actually turns on.
It's true. It's true. It's very true.
It's very true.
It's very true.
And since he recognizes that occasionally his brain does work and compliments him for it.
All right. So Ash and company leave Macon Island, and as they're leaving, Ash is kind of like polishing his, his badge.
He's like, look at my awesome new badge, guys. It's awesome.
And then Misty comments the fact that she wishes she had challenged Sissy to a thing. And then, of course, one of my favorite parts is Ash takes a pot shot at Misty and says, you have to be a good trainer. And then
Ash, the gym leader, you butt.
And then, of course, Misty kind of retaliates by, I believe, taking his cheek and pulling.
Yep.
That's
the standard hilarious. Misty retaliation to Ash, is the pulling.
I love when they take pot shots at each other. It just makes it feel more of like a real relationship. Because you don't make fun of anyone you don't know, Well, some people do. I don't know. Maybe I just have it backwards, but Anyways, so that basically finishes up the episode. Although they harken back to the Tracy little sketch of Sissy riding Blastoise,
and Misty looking at his show like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Nothing. I was watching the Blastoise, not the girl on top of
Right. Gotcha. Okay, and that's pretty much it. They ride into the sunset, and that's the end.
To be continued.
So, let's get into our pros and cons for this
Pros
episode.
and cons.
So, I'll let you start, since you're my guest. Why don't you start with your pros?
Pros. The episode, despite its, I like that it went right into the action. There wasn't a lot of fluff. I don't mind a little fluff, but it would have been nice to have a little bit of better transition, but it went right to the action. I enjoyed how the gym worked. Mm-hmm. I like that a lot better because, we all love Pokemon battles, but after a while they get kind of stale. So that was definitely, I enjoyed that Pokemon, the gym challenge. It was really a challenge, it wasn't a battle, it was a challenge. So right. I like that. What about you? What are your pros?
You hit everything I was going to say, pretty much. I liked Sissy. I kind of wish that she was in more than one episode.
Yeah, right. I liked her a lot.
She kind of had a little bit of an attitude to her.
She did with her loafers.
I actually thought those were Crocs, actually.
They were like a loafer Crocs combination.
But I kind of liked her. I kind of wish... That's one thing that I wish about a lot of the gym leaders that they introduce. I kind of wish that the gym leaders would be in more than one episode. Obviously, we have Misty, we have Silent, we have Brock, we have other characters who become main characters. But I really wish that one of the ones I really wished was in Black and White. When I was watching that, there was a gym leader called Skyla. I really liked Skyla. I thought she was a really cool trainer. I liked her little story arc that they had. And I kind of wanted to see more with her. Skyla was kind of the Amelia Earhart of Pokemon world, if you will. I kind of wanted to see more of her, and I
Or
just...
even just think about it, you can just give her more than just, like, one episode. Like, I mean, like, Sabrina got 2 episodes, and we got to actually, like, see Sabrina and understand Sabrina's mentality and, all that kind of stuff.
I agree, and I just, that's my only thing, is that sometimes, even in the games, though, they don't really do much with the gym leaders, with a very few exceptions. They're not really part of the story, they just kind of, you just battle them and then leave. One of the ones I kind of wish I had more interaction with was I don't know. Anyways, she was the fire gym leader.
Oh, like Flannery?
Flannery, that's right, Flannery. Yeah, I really like Flannery. I kind of liked her attitude, and I wish...
She had awesome hair.
Yeah, I kind of wish that she would show up more in the game, because a lot of the gym leaders, you just go, you just battle them, and that's it. You
never see them ever again.
Never see them ever again. And it's kind of a shame that some of these are actually really cool characters, So, I don't know. That was my only pro. I like that. It was kind of a pro-con, I guess.
Pro-con, what?
Alright, so cons.
It's funny watching these again as an adult. Because, when you're a kid, you don't really notice the details. You're just like, whoa, it's Blastoise. Whoa, it's Lapras. Whoa, Magikarp. Severine, that's so cool. I'm gonna have to give Pokemon a flack on this for the, physics of this episode. I mean, it made no sense. And also, now that I understand that they're all orange islands, literally, I'm gonna have to give 4 kids flack for calling it Mikan instead of being the actual Mikan, which isn't a hard word to say. I mean, Mikan.
Right.
Mikan.
Right. Mikan.
I mean, it's easy word to say. So I guess those are really my only cons. I mean, it's a silly episode. It's kind of I think it's kind of more meant to be silly.
Yeah, it's one of those episodes. Here's my con. You ready for this?
All right, I'm ready.
We're gonna get flack for this. I'm gonna get fanboy flack for this.
Uh-oh.
I really did not like Team Rocket in this episode. I think they never should have showed up.
They weren't really needed in this episode.
No, they weren't. I mean, actually, it's funny. This is the first episode I actually said this as a con, because previous episodes that we've done so far, Team Rocket were needed. They were needed. They were needed in the episode. In the Lapras episode, they were needed.
Yeah.
In the Blimp episode, obviously, they were needed. And I complained about Jigglypuff kind of just popping out of nowhere. Oh, goodness. But this is, I think, the first episode I could make this complaint fully. I really just... They did not need to show up. They did not need to be in that episode.
They really weren't needed. I mean, and I'm a big Team Rocket fan. I love me some Team Rocket. It was kind of random. It was just like, all right, you're here. I kind of want to watch this Pokemon wave ride thing, but okay, you're here now.
Right. I mean, I guess the only reason they showed up again was to show Blastoise's strength.
It's incredible Hulk-like strength.
Right. I guess that's the only real reason they had them in there. Kind of. But do we really need that? Do we really need it to show off Blastoise's strength?
Not really.
Not really.
Because Ash isn't going to evolve as Squirtle ever.
So, I don't know. I also think that there was a lot of padding in this episode. Like, this episode kind of ran short. They just kind of padded it with whatever they could. So, I really think that the Sissy's little brother's prank was... I just don't.
It came out of nowhere, man. That one just came out of nowhere.
And it kind of went and came, and that was it.
I mean, we didn't even get his name. I mean, he's just a kid. He's just some random kid who lives in the gym.
Right, and that's pretty much it for this episode. So overall, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate the episode.
No, it wasn't a bad episode.
I like the gym battles.
Okay, episode. I mean, if I was going to give this a grade, I'd give this a B-. It was a decent episode. It wasn't anything to write home about, but it was a decent episode.
All right. So, that's pretty much it for this episode. So, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome. I could talk Pokemon all day long. Literally.
And you definitely will be popping up in another episode, so we'll listen up for those. Listen up for that, guys, coming up next. So now, remember, guys, if you're listening to us on iTunes, you need to go and give us a review. Any stars. I don't care what you give me. Please just give me some stars so that other people can find us. If you're listening to this on the website or on YouTube, our website is thearcadearchives.com. Again, thearcadearchives.com. Please leave comments. Let us know what you think of the episode. of this episode specifically. What do your thoughts on Fit to be Tied? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What did you like about it? What did you hate about it? Please let us know. You can also go on Twitter at TailsFTGameGrid. Again, that's at TailsFTGameGrid. And of course, at Arcade A Network is the two places you can find us on Twitter. By the way, this is only one of 2 mini-casts that we do on Cartoon Connoisseur Theater. The other one is Ruby Roundup, where we're currently going over episodes of Volume 3 of Ruby, which is amazingly awesome. So if you're a fan of Rooster Teeth's Ruby, you should definitely check this out. It's kind of like a companion to the show. So after you watch the episode, then you kind of listen to the podcast, and we continue on with that. And so our next episode, Danny the Ultrasonic Player is going to be joining us, and we're going over an episode that I'm very excited to talk about, and it's called Pikachu Revolts. And this episode, Ash comes up to a new island, but when he does, Pikachu changes, along with Togepi, and we get to beat some enemies that have been long gone for a while.
Dun,
So,
dun, dun.
So, thank you guys so very much for joining us here for Cartoon Connoisseur Theater's Pokemon Rewind. And we leave you with a clip from Pikachu Revolts. Best wishes, everyone.
Bye.
Could it be?
That was unpleasant.
Our old friends.
Huh?
Cassidy!
And Butch.
The name is Butch.
There's only room for one Team Rocket!
Then prepare for trouble.
Huh?
You're the ones who should prepare for trouble!
You two don't even know how to say the motto!
You've just made your trouble double.
I'm the one who has the next line.
To protect the world from devastation!
To infect the world with devastation!
To unite all peoples within our nation.
To blight all peoples in every nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love!
The goodness of truth and love!
Reach to the stars above.
Wrath to the stars above.
Jesse!
Cassidy!
James.
Butch.
Team Rocket blast off at the speed of light!
Team Rocket circling Earth all day and night!
Surrender now or prepare to fight.
Surrender to us now or you'll surely lose the fight.
Thank you for joining us for this Arcade Archives Network video. If you like this, please make sure to subscribe to this channel and leave comments below. If you would like more, please go to thearcadearchives.com or zowikerpowie.com. Thank you so much once again for joining us for this Arcade Archives Network video, and don't forget to keep playing like it's 1981.
Message from headquarters. This is a Rebellion production and is part of the Arcade Archives Network. That is all.